Hi guys, welcome to Subscribers Draw My Nails episode 10. We've hit double digits on this series. This past round of submissions was so good. I think because we didn't have a theme to stick to, so everyone could just be as creative as they wanted, and everything was so good. I'm going to be doing a second video out of these same batch of submissions because there's just too many good ones to choose from. This episode of Subscribers Draw My Nails is kindly sponsored by Mecart. There were so many very colorful designs. In today's video, we're going to be using some of their new acrylics, specifically the Electrica collection. This is a collection of all-in-one acrylics, meaning you can use them as acrylic or as dip powder. There are 6 shades in this collection, sort of like a little rainbow, and you guys will just be able to see for yourself in the video how easy this acrylic is to work with. I love the formula that they ended up choosing. It's really just going to speak for itself. I really love the formula on this all-in-one, so you'll just have to see. This acrylic and everything else I use will be, of course, linked down in the description, as well as you can use my code EmilySusanna on 15% off all Mecart products on their website, their Canadian site, European site, United Kingdom site, Australian site, all of them. Also, something super exciting, I will be with Mecart in Miami, Fort Lauderdale on May 21st. They will be holding a event at the Studio Nail Supply in Fort Lauderdale, so if you want to come meet me, I will be doing a meet and greet there. Nail artists Natalie and Steven will also be there if you want to meet them and watch them do some demos. It'll be really fun. Come on out if you are in the area. I'm honestly really nervous because it's the first time I've ever done any public appearance or literally anything like this in my life. So do let me know if you are going to come. I am really nervous about it, but also really excited to see those of you that do come and get to meet you and see your faces and see your nails. It'll be really fun. Today I will be doing 5 different designs. I really like doing it this way, that way I can do as many people's as possible. Before we get into the first design, I do just want to remind you guys that these are not my designs. If the person wanted to be credited, their info of course is always on the screen. And if you also recreate these designs, make sure to credit them and then also just tag me so that I can see. The template that I put out, I usually put out on my Instagram and community tab here on YouTube, so if you want to participate in the future, make sure to subscribe here. Watch out for my community tab posts or on my Instagram story. I don't just have a template that I put out all the time because I am not that organized, unfortunately. It's something I'm really working on. But if I did that, honestly, designs would just get lost and I wouldn't end up seeing them. And I don't want to do that. I want to be able to look at every single submission. And just in the 2 days that I put this one out, I got 500 or 600 designs and I looked through them and read every single one. So I hope you guys can understand why I don't put out a design just all the time and why I only want to put them out for a day or two. But enough about that, let's get into the first design. The first design that we will be doing is this one from Leanne, and I just thought it was so fun. It gave me wavy nail vibes, so it was kind of a throwback, but I thought it was fun that it was just like a flame. And I felt like sort of going in on this video wanting to do more like sculpted or more intricate stuff. So this one seemed really fun. Let's get into it. I do have a peel off base coat on my nail right now because whenever I do these nails, it makes me so sad when I have to take them off and clip them, and so I want to be able to keep them. So yeah, we will be doing a peel off base coat. I think that Carnival and Raver will be perfect for this nail, and I'm gonna use a form today because I don't know, I feel like if I use the tip it would just not be very efficient. I think I should be able to like sculpt it out, kinda. So I'm leaving the form pretty flat, that way we have enough room. And I'm gonna start with Carnival. So I'm just starting my base, and I'm doing it a little bit thicker since I do have that peel off base coat. Peel off base coats tend to be a little bit thicker. There we go. And then I'm pretty much just going to almost do like a little bit of a square shape at first. And then I'm kind of putting these beads on without smoothing the edges too much, since we do have like a wave we're going for, if you know what I mean. I don't want the bead to fall down much, but we're not looking for smooth sides. And I'm kind of just building up the base right now. As you can see, the acrylic is a little bit stiffer, which I really like. I think it's a lot easier to work with, but it does level out fairly easy at the same time. I'm gonna let this side kind of go. I'm trying to go for the exact wave for this, so I'm gonna slice this out, I think. I had actually started out using a odorless monomer, but I was finding that it was making, this looks like a crab claw. Not quite a flame. It's fine. The odorless monomer that I sort of had tried it with when I started, I felt like was making the acrylic look like it was separating, which sometimes will happen with super pigmented acrylics. It does. And it might kind of look like that at first with these, but once it sort of dries, it really all levels out. If you've watched me do acrylic before, I feel like just how easily I'm doing this kind of speaks for itself. Okay, I feel like that top tip is looking pretty good. I'm just gonna add a little bit onto this one. Okay, you know what? This is kind of going how I was hoping. I'm just going to put sort of one more layer on top right here to sort of smooth everything out. I don't really want like big divots. I want it to look wavy, not like, you know, beads are stacked on top of each other. Now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Raver just to do that little bit of an ombre. So it's kind of hard to see, I feel like on camera, just from what it looks like in my monitor. Now I'm just gonna fill in these little gaps while making sure we keep that wave on the side. Definitely don't need that much. There we go. Okay, one of my favorite things to do is pop off a form. Trying to be careful. Ooh, I love it. It will need a little bit cleaning up and some sharpening, but I think we're on the right track. I'm going to shape it up now with this little ceramic bit. Now I am wiping it all down with acetone. I am trying to sort of melt anywhere that isn't smooth together, since for carved ones you can only get things, you know, so smooth. Now we have to do the little face. This should be fairly simple. For the black, I'm going to be using my Mecart black gel. This is the liner gel version though. I always use this one, and then I will be using this pastel liner from Couture. These are some very thin lines though, so I'm going to put a little bit out. We're going to just go straight in to the design. I'm not going to put a base coat or anything down since it's not too detailed, although I feel like somehow it's still going to be pretty hard. Faces are always by far the hardest. I think this is like a little emoji face. It's kind of what it looks like to me. Like an emoji kissy face. Wait, did I do it? Okay, I think I kind of did. It's definitely not perfect, but I think this is as good as it's gonna get. I definitely wish the lines were a little bit thinner, which I definitely just messed up myself. Let's see if I can just do a little. Okay, I'm just gonna cure it. Then just the little cheeks. Ooh, that is definitely too bright. Okay, that's a little more like it. Why can I not get this color right? Got a little something custom mixed. That's better. I want it to fade out, so I'm gonna just like dab it and see if that works. Oh, it does work. Just to like fade it a tiny bit, you know, because it's sort of like faded out and, you know, like blushed on theirs. Here we go. And of course we have to do a shiny top coat. A shiny top coat is the only thing that makes sense with this. It really brings out all the curves. It also looks really smooth too. That acetone did a good job. Thank you, Leanne, for that design, and let's move on. I was really surprised to see a lot of common themes in this round of submissions. One of them was aliens. So of course, if I see a lot of submissions about one topic, I will for sure do one of those designs because that's what you guys want to see. So for this alien design, I chose this one from Nivika. I hope I said that right. I wanted to do this one because I could just see it in my head with the way that they drew this. I felt like it would look really cool, and I was really excited to do it once I saw it. We need some long square nails, so we're gonna go in with the acrylics, tapered square tips. Let's just size it out really quick. Perfect. Sometimes tips can fit a little bit awkward if you have some sort of like base coat on. So you might need to size up if you have a base coat on. I'm gonna trim just a little bit off of this. We'll do a little quick cleanup up the sides. Then of course, I'm grabbing out Insomniac, my favorite color from this collection. I know usually my favorite's always pink, but I've been loving green lately. And this is gonna be fairly quick because the green is the entire base. Then just a quick little file session. They did clarify that the stars were black glitter stars, but I found these and I felt like they were perfect, so I'm gonna use these. Hope that's okay. These ones are from Nail Couture, and these ones where I'm gonna use these teeny tiny little stars are from some random sticker Halloween pack on Amazon. Grab this one. Now the teeny tiny little stars. There we go. I feel like that's close enough. To make it easier to draw, I'm going to go in with this matte top coat, and that way we can seal in all of these stickers as well. Not super clean down there, that's fine. Ignore that. Okay, for starts, probably just by blocking out the shapes. I love the way that they did this spaceship, kind of like a black and white cartoon drawing. I think that might be up a little bit too high. I'm gonna do a second coat of white so it's really popping, and just clean up any edges. Okay, this is gonna be by far the hardest part. I have to do these itty bitty teeny tiny little lines. I think I'm gonna just start off doing the outline of the spaceship. It's way too thick. This is so hard. You know, I was actually shocked at how many people did space themed ones. I don't know if it's just because my hair was green and that made y'all think of it, but a lot of space themed. Now that we've done the ship, we're going to do one more matte top coat so that we can do my favorite part of this design, of course, the hollow beam, I guess that would be. Gonna put some top coat out, and we can draw out where the beam is gonna go. This part is kind of hard to see since it's clear, but once we put the hollow on, it's gonna look really cool. Then I'm gonna cure this. Now I'm grabbing my hollow. So pretty. I'm gonna do teeny tiny bit of alcohol rub before, and then just go in with my finger. Then I'm just gonna go back over that and put clear top coat to seal the hollow in. You know, I was thinking that I was gonna leave everything matte and then just have this glossy, but I kind of want all of it glossy, maybe. You know what, I'll just do this just glossy at first and then we can see. Then last but not least, we must draw the person getting abducted, which I want to say seems simple enough for the shape, but it's honestly really small. Does that look like it? Nope, it does not. Ah! Somehow that one's worse. Okay, I managed to finish the person off camera because I just needed to be a little closer to it. My nail is not going to be perfectly fitting anymore because as intended, I did pop them off and it is a new day, but I did want to put them back on just, you know, for the full effect of a full nail. Is that a bug? What is happening? Where did that? You guys see that? Where did it go? Anyway. I did end up doing a thicker layer of base coat because I had done a layer of this peel off base coat, but I don't think the layer was thick enough even though this stuff is really thick and it was really hard to get off. So that wasn't fun. So I put a pretty thick layer down. Hence the nail's not gonna look perfect anymore, but I did want to reattach them so that we can get the full effect of a full hand of the nails. But let's move on. Something I have always wanted to do but surprisingly haven't was an edge nail shape, and this one I thought was absolutely perfect to do it with. I love that there's a design on each side but they still go together. This is such a great design and I feel like it would look amazing even on like all 5 nails. So thank you, Yuana, for this submission. I absolutely love it and I'm super excited to do it. So obviously we are going to have to form these nails. I'm really excited about this one. This is going to be my first ever edge nail. I did go and watch a tutorial or two just to make sure I can, you know, do it right. But we're just going to pinch that so we can get that nice sharp edge like so. And we're gonna do it on my pointer finger. Okay, I feel like that looks perfect. Nice sharp point. I am going to sculpt this out of acrylic for the base, but I will do the rainbows in gel because that's just not happening with acrylic. But I'm gonna start with this white sugar white from Mecart, the all-in-one again, and we're gonna do that little half moon on the bottom. I'm just going to take a super tiny bead of acrylic and we're gonna start here at the bottom. I'm going to just let this set up and then I think I'm gonna try to just like carve it out like so. I'm not sure if this will work, but I have my like giant one. I'm not sure if I'll be able to like just kinda. Seems like a little bit too high for the half moon. Regardless, we'll still scrape some of this acrylic off. I think that's about good. It's honestly really hard to do that. As you can see, I do already have some black on my nail. What had happened was I initially decided to start off with just doing the whole nail in black acrylic, but the black acrylic is incredibly dark and pigmented, and it was actually really hard to see. It was like looking in like a black hole. Black acrylic is also generally, in my opinion, a little bit more messy. So I decided to stop that and switch to a clear and sort of white acrylic. It was just so hard to see and I don't think I was like doing a good job and it was messy. And then it also doesn't help that black acrylic usually takes a bit longer to dry. So here we are, got it all formed out again. So now I'm gonna go in with like a white and a clear to hopefully be able to see a little bit better and build the nail a little bit better. I might have a little bit of like a gray hue from the black acrylic in my monomer, which definitely did show, just FYI. So I'm just starting off with my base, just kind of hopefully in the right direction. It's weird because everything in me wants to like flatten out the top, but I have to just like flatten the sides. It's weird. Okay, I think I have a nice layer on there. Now I'm gonna go in with just some white so it's a little bit easier to see. I really want to get the shape on this right since this is my first time doing it. Did anyone order a hot mess? Because I have one for you. Let me clean this up and we'll file, which should hopefully make everything better. And I'm actually really looking forward to the filing of this. You know, you guys know I love me a little transformation. Just take it off and file it. This form is so sticky. It's like not wanting to come off my skin. There we go. It is so thick. Granted, these ones are gonna be a little thicker since I do have the base coat on already, but all right, here we go. Hopefully, let's make this not a mess anymore. Are you ready for the reveal? I'm actually really surprised with how this came out. I'm not gonna say it's not thick, okay? But I'm actually super happy. Hopefully you guys can see the point on it, but I'm pretty happy with it actually. I think I've done all that I can for the shape. So now I'm just rubbing it with alcohol and I'm going to get my old crusty white gel that I obviously need a new one of. I think I've been using this one for like, I don't want to exaggerate and say like a year and a half, but it's probably been at least that. Whenever they first came out with these, I don't remember the time, but I'm gonna put just a white base coat over since we do have that white at the bottom and just to even everything out. Hopefully you can see the shape a little bit better now. Now I'm going to do the little half moon and French tip. I will definitely try to not make the rest of the nails so thick. It's a good start. And get the French tip started. Thankfully, it looks like we will only need to do one coat of the black, and so let's get onto the fun rainbow part. For our rainbow, I'm going to be using these Nail Couture Neon Liner Gels and Super Rich One Coat Gels. These are very bright, might be a little bit more neon than the picture, but I think it's going to look great. I, however, will still be putting them on a palette. I feel like that's uneven. For my liner, I'm gonna go in with this one from Ella Nailed It. Longer liners are actually a lot easier for straight lines as opposed to short ones. I don't know if I'll use the 20mm side, but the 10 will probably be perfect. Then of course, gonna try to stick to the layout of the colors on here. First is red. I think it's gonna be a little bit difficult deciding on how to space out the lines. It'll be red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. I think it needs to be a little bit thicker. And then I might as well just go ahead and do the red also on this side, but I'm gonna cure it in between so I don't mess this up. I am so glad that I decided to restart the nail after I started doing the entire thing black, because I feel like it would have been hard to get these colors as vibrant on a black base. Even if I did put white over, it probably would have taken quite a few coats. There we go. I feel like that seems like a good even amount. Next up, orange. Can you guys imagine just a whole hand of these nails? It would look crazy, like in a good way. I'm trying to get this layer on thick enough to where I don't have to do a second coat, because I don't want any of this to be like substantially thicker than any of the other ones. It's not gonna mesh super well. One layer that's a little bit thicker is fine, but then if you put on like 2 thick layers, it's just not gonna look right. Here we go. I'm loving it so far. I am really hoping I've gotten the spacing right. Now that we're not quite so far on the edge, I can do both sides without curing each one, because I feel like that takes up so much of my time, like 30 seconds after each side this one nail would take. I don't even want to know how long, just in curing. Having to do a little bit of cleanup is fine. So I was actually extremely off with the spacing. I have 2 options. I can either chop the nail to be shorter, or I can continue the rainbow and just like repeat. I think that I'm going to do that just because it's not as easy to chop this shape as like a square or like, you know, a stiletto would be. I'm going to wait to do the last pink line on here. That way I can cover up any little discrepancies on this side. So I was about to say so close, but it really wasn't. It really was not close. We are on our last strip of color. Gonna do the pink down the side, and thankfully I think that this side still looks pretty good even though we had to repeat the pattern. I was a little worried that it was gonna be too one color heavy, but I think it looks fine. We will do a couple little small touch-ups on the black and we'll be done with this one. I am so happy with how it's turned out. I think the only way to do this one is a glossy top coat. I feel like matte wouldn't let the colors pop as much as I love how they are right now. I'm going to use my Anna Acrylics non-wipe top coat because this one is pretty thick and I just want a, you know, nice shiny even layer on top of everything. And final cure. I'm not sure if the like black outline was meant to go on here, but I kind of like it like this. As I had said, I definitely wanted to do a little bit of sculpting, and I love this fairy wing, and they were so funny in their email. So thank you, Venus, for this design. I love that the wing comes out of the picture, almost like a 3D coming like out of a picture, opposed to just like something 3D on top, or the whole nail being the thing, if that makes sense. I of course love all things iridescent and glittery, and this one is both. I say we start off with the fun part, which is obviously the wings. So they said that legally fairy wings have to be iridescent, and I agree. I want to sculpt them out of polygel, so we're going to use Evie's Patty Gel. Hey Brutus, can this wait? Okay. The wings in the design are sort of like a, you know, like blue greenish. So I figured we would use Sweet Life because this is sort of like a clear, but it has a ton of iridescent shimmer in it. Well, I guess not shimmer, flakies. There we go. I think it'll be perfect. And then I think we can probably also rub some iridescent powder on. It'll just be all kinds of iridescent. Got to make sure we follow the law. So I just have a little silicone mat that I'm going to start with. I'm going to use one of these over here for scale for the wings, just to compare. I'm just gonna go right at it and put a glob down there and then maybe like a bigger glob there. Look at a wing. Well, it's not too bad actually. And then I'm just gonna kind of try to sculpt how I think it should look. You know how fairy wings look in the wild. Also shouldn't have any problem curing this since once again it is clear. I feel like the wings can almost have a little bit of like outside texture. They don't have to be completely smooth because I don't think like actual wings are like super smooth, you feel? And this one I'm gonna just a little bit out. Does that look like a fairy wing to you? Because I feel like it looks like a fairy wing to me. Except I feel like it was too easy almost. Like That took me 2 minutes and 45 seconds approximately in real time. So I feel like that should almost be too good to be true. I don't know. I think I'm just going to pat it down with some alcohol. Make sure it's nice and smooth, since I will draw like the little, they called veins? I don't know. Throughout in that pink. Looks pretty smooth to me. So I had an idea to cure it kind of like this on a little bit of an angle so that it doesn't just stick straight out. Do you know what I mean? I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna do it about like that, especially right here because I'm gonna want it to attach to my nail. All right, let's see how it turned out. Good. It does look like it does have that little bit of curve even though it's down. I'll just grab it off here. Nice and easy. Perfect. It does have that little bit of curve, you can see. I'm gonna wipe it down so it's not sticky, and then just do a little bit of trimming. Every time I pull these scissors out, I get a lot of questions about them, but I always forget to link them. So they're from Nail Couture. I'm fairly certain they are cuticle scissors, but I am not skilled enough to be cutting my cuticles with scissors, so they get used for other things. I think I'm gonna try putting some iridescent powder on the underside of this. I'm not sure if this one's gonna look good, but I wanna try this one before, because this one almost has like a nice cool UV effect. But before we can put that on, we need to put a top coat so that it can stick to it. I'm doing this on the underside as opposed to the top, because I just feel like I don't want any of these really pretty glitters to get like covered up. I just think it'll look more like dimensional like that. There we go. We'll pop that in the oven. Okay, I'm gonna take this powder, and I hope that it looks as cool on this like clear as it does like on other colors. Can you see where it is? I don't know. Oh, you know what? You can look at that. The little reflect blue. Pretty. Perfect. It's subtle, but it's just enough to add that extra little bit of sparkle, and seal that with just one more top coat. So I just realized like probably how gross my nails look. I swear they are dirty from being stained from the black acrylic, but I get they probably look gross. Okay, we have the back taken care of. Now I'm going to do the little, I guess it'd be like veins through it in this pink. I'm gonna start off by sort of outlining each individual wing. I am trying to follow their exact lines for the wing. We'll finish this off with a top coat, and all the glitter is gonna look so pretty now. Just all pops. Let's do the actual nail now. I'm going to do a coffin. And their nail isn't super, super long, so we're gonna just chop it a little bit. I'm finally gonna get to grab out the pink. This one is Pink Robot. I love that name. And the purple. These do come with like extra little seals, by the way. If you wanted to, you could like take it out. You know, they just kind of get stuck up here, and it helps the jar just get a little bit of a better seal. That way, if you know, knock it over, turn it over, whatever, no acrylic spills out and gets all crusty. So they do have these, but they just kind of usually get stuck at the top, and it just helps them seal a little better. I'm gonna also grab out some white just for like the center a little bit. Update, I am so dumb. So obviously I switch off doing my hands and stuff, and I didn't even think about that this wing goes on this side when it would probably work so much better on this side, but that's not how we made it. So that's something. I also feel like I might have to end up filing in this wing a little bit because I think it might be a little big. We'll worry about that in a little bit though. Let's just do our acrylic real quickly. Start with a little bit of a purple. I don't know why I say a little bit of a purple, like we are starting with purple. I am really happy with the formula that Mecart went with for these because they are so easy to work with. I would say except the black. The black is a bit harder to work with because it has a lot of pigment in it, but these ones are super easy though, even though they're very pigmented. We're doing a center gradient. I am doing these really watery to just blend it all in. Perfect, I think. Almost looks like a little explosion, like a, you know, I don't know, like a berry exploding out of the nail or something like that, you know? I don't know. Finish off with a clear cap. Oh my gosh, I just picked up a bead of white thinking it was the clear. That would have been very inconvenient. I don't think that this is going to need a ton of filing, so I'm just going to do that really quick. And we can move on to the nail art portion of this, which will be drawing the fairy. So I'm just gonna, and voila, all filed. I also went ahead and filed down our little charm. I basically just took down the size of it because turns out it was gonna be way too big. And now it should be a lot more proportional. But now we have to draw the fairy. I'm gonna give this a quick wipe with some swipe. Try to get some of those scratches down a tiny bit. It's a little better. I'm gonna put a matte top coat on now. That way when we draw, it doesn't bleed or anything. So the wings will probably go about there. So I can start the body a little bit off center. A little bit like here. And I'm just gonna do the silhouette. You know, I don't know if that's right. I don't think I'm gonna start with the legs. I think that's a decent silhouette to start with, so I'm just gonna cure that. I'm not gonna lie, a silhouette like this is so hard. This is a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be. Cause like to me, I see the silhouette, right? Because I have something to compare it to, but then if someone just showed me this, I'd have absolutely no idea what you're trying to draw. We are pretty much almost done. I'm going to add all the little stars that are pretty much just like little specks. Okay, I did too many specks. I think I'm actually gonna do the little specks in pink. I think that'll make them a little bit less harsh. I feel like they look really good and convey that they're like just like, you know, little lights or stars in the picture, but then on my nail, to me, it looks like just dots. And then I ended up just adding this like little bit of glitter top coat mix that I made on the wings to just the like veiny parts. I don't know if they're veins. If they're not veins, it's gonna be awkward because I've said it so many times. But I'm just going to add like the teeny tiny bit of sparkle to these stars. Now they did say that they think that the nail should be matte and these should be shiny, but they did say they're leaving it up to me. So I think this is gonna be one of the few times that I'm actually going to change the design, and we're gonna have it all shiny just because I feel like the wings stand out enough on their own, and I just think it'll all look really good shiny. So I'm gonna top everything together, but first I'm gonna put the wings on. I'm gonna use my rhinestone glue and put quite a big glob there. And then I'm going to start my lamp and then set this on. That way it can start to cure like almost immediately once I set it on, because it's gonna be like sticking out a little bit. And are you ready for the review? Ooh, it's so pretty. I love how that looks. Let's add the top coat though to top it all off. This is so cute. I do wish I had thought ahead though and put the wing on this side and sort of like flipped it so I don't knock it and hopefully I don't break it, but nonetheless, I love it. As I said, there are common themes within submissions sometimes, and one that I was super surprised about was a lot of the submissions were Spongebob themed. I don't think that's ever happened before, so I knew that I wanted to do something fun with it. This nail is different because I'm actually going to combine 3 different designs into this one nail. I thought that this concept was super fun and I wanted to sort of roll with it, but do something a little bit different with the actual nails themselves. So with that SpongeBob theme, I chose this design from Cat. It's just the classic SpongeBob sky, you know, like watercolor and also flowers. We all know what it looks like. And I chose that as the base nail. And then as an accent nail, the nail hanging off with the little O-ring, I guess, I chose this one from Nina, which I thought was so funny. So I wanted to obviously do it as soon as I saw it, and I thought it would pair really well together. So to summarize, I'm going to be doing this concept with this design and this design. I know that this one's going to be a bit difficult, especially with faces. Cartoon faces are really hard, so wish me luck. Let's start with what's going to be the easier of the two, and we're going to use these full cover tips this time. Now this is going on my pinky, so these nails are going to be pretty small, and I'm going to work with the nails on these little stands. I feel like the blue on this is in between these, and then the green is like in between these. So I'm just gonna kind of put it on and just blend it out. Kind of like how we used to do for like IG makeup videos. This one might be a little bright. I have this little tool that I'm just gonna blend it all out now. And sort of like, I don't know, hope for the best with it. So my first round of this blending didn't quite go how I wanted, so I'm gonna take a different approach because the nail kept lifting from the stand, and that's kind of hard to blend with, you know, what you're blending is lifting up. I think I'm gonna do this color. And let's just blend that out a little bit. Okay, that's not a bad base. I'm just gonna do it again pretty much. Okay, despite that seeming like it wasn't gonna work out at all, it kinda did. Once we got a matte top coat on top, all is good. Let's do the flowers now. I was honestly shocked with how many Spongebob ones there were. I don't think I've ever had almost any Spongebob ones, let alone so many. I don't know if it's because it's summer or if like SpongeBob is trending again or something like that. I don't know. I haven't watched SpongeBob in quite some time. Are they still making new episodes? Like, what's going on with that? Do you guys have a favorite episode? I feel like my memory is so bad, but one that I can remember that I loved, I can't even remember why, is the Magic Conch episode. I asked David and he wasn't allowed to watch SpongeBob apparently, but he has seen some now as an adult. These little tiny ones are hard. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough room to do all of these. This is not a big nail. So this is size 11, for those of you that like know the sizes of stuff. It's a pretty small nail. It's taken me a second to figure out why these flowers are looking weird, even though they seem fairly simple, and it's because when I'm drawing them, I'm not drawing the edges of them, like the ends, the tips or whatever, bigger, and then going in and just using like the same width for all the petals, and that's not how they are. Like they go in and then out, in and then out, like that, not like even like that. I feel like these flowers, like if you look at them individually, they don't look quite right, but I feel like in the grand scheme of things, you know what it is. You're not really looking at like individual flowers. I'm definitely not gonna have room for every flower, so I'm just gonna do like one more over here. Okay, now we just have to add the rhinestones, but they did say that I could use pearls, and I thought that that would be fun. I'm gonna do these like whitish iridescent ones over here to stick with the sea theme. I think the pearl recommendation is a great idea. These were surprisingly hard to find, but I do almost never use pearls, so this is a good chance to do it. We'll just put a teeny tiny bit of rhinestone glue down here. I'm gonna put a top coat on top of that, including the rhinestone gel, just so when we put everything down there isn't anything sticky in between the rhinestones, because I've done that before. And then I don't really like top coating my rhinestones. I feel like it makes them just not look as nice. But then what happens is you get all kinds of stuff stuck in between the rhinestones because it's still sticky. These pearls are definitely a little bigger than I would like, but I'm pretty sure these are pretty much all the pearls I have. They said that the pearls would probably look like bubbles, and they kind of do. They kind of do look like bubbles. Definitely would have looked better with smaller pearls, but we're going with it. And it's perfect, except for, you know, the dog hair. I am most definitely having to mix the color for the skin. Ooh, that's liquidy. All right, let's mix that up a little bit. That's actually pretty close. I feel like it just needs like a teeny tiny touch of orange though. We'll just dive right into the head. Oh, this is gonna need quite a few coats of this shade. Third coat. Now they said that 3D ears are required, and I don't want to let anyone down, so it seems almost impossible because it's going to be so tiny. So I think what I'm going to do is basically just put a small little dab of rhinestone glue since it's pretty thick, and hopefully it looks like an ear, and paint it. I guess we'll see. And I might just have to build it up a little bit. Honestly, that looks like an ear to me, I think. All right, 3D ears unlocked. Before we draw the face, we should figure out where the pants essentially are gonna go. It does not have to be perfect though, because we have to put the necklace on. We're coming along. We'll do the flowers now. Of course, we're leaving the face, the best for last. I'm gonna try to do the face now with the world's teeniest, tiniest brush. I'm gonna start on the eyes, so I feel like that's like the placement kind of for the whole face. That'll determine where everything else goes. I don't think that's gonna be right. All right, hoping this is not like a 20 tries situation. Hopefully second time's the charm. We'll see. I had absolutely done the eyes too big, so I'm just gonna move on to some of these little details right now in hopes that it'll just, you know, like come together, hopefully. Can't forget about the ears. We're gonna try to trust the process right now, all right? I know what you're all thinking. I'm thinking it too. I've gone in and done some details because this is so hard on such a tiny nail. I'm going to do the little tie around the neck now. And this looks so scary, to be honest. This is probably going to be one of my poor executed nails. I promise, not for lack of trying. Well, that is absolutely terrifying. Also, terrible. Just, that's it. Let's top coat it and hopefully it looks any better at all. I think I'm gonna do a matte top coat, or he would be underwater, right? Let's do a glossy. Their message had also said something about doing a rhinestone tooth, and so I'm gonna do that really quick. Hopefully it fits. It's like the whole tooth. I'm gonna try one of these little silver beads instead. No, it's still too big. Okay, let's try a single piece of glitter. That's too big too, what the heck? Okay, I managed to get a teeny tiny speck of glitter on there. I'm gonna use this sharp bit from a prey. I thought I was doing it, I did them the wrong way. And there we go. Those look so good together. All we have to do now is stick it on. And there we have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to give this a like if you want me to continue the Subscribers Draw My Nails series, because I do have that event coming up this next week. I am not sure if the next video will be a Subscribers Draw My Nails, but it will be soon. I'm gonna stop blabbering though. I hope to see you guys in Miami. But other than that, thank you guys so much again for watching, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye!